up and running yet. Um, yeah, no problem. Do you want to call back in like 5?
All right,
5 minutes?
235 427.
Okay. Thank you for doing this. Okay.
235 427.
Okay. Hey, Lindsay. Coach Walker just called.
Yeah, I heard.
We're not ready yet.
Yeah, I know.
Check. Check.
I got you. Am I 2? 2. I'm 2. 3. You're 1. Yeah,
Check. If it starts to feedback, then I think we just gotta mute all of these. I think it's getting back into this.
Okay.
And then we can use this to talk to them. Perfect right there.
Check. Can y'all hear me? Raise your hand if you can hear me on the court. You guys all ready? You all ready? Lindsay, Gabby, Steph against Maddie, Macy, Laura. It's game time.
Are we on there? And somebody needs to check this.
Yeah.
Make sure it's working.
We're here. So we got the equipment manager on the court here. Are we through the speaker or just?
That's planned, but I might have somebody tend that and shut it down when we get in here.
Where's the button to turn it on? Like the sound to it.
That's coming right out of here. You can't do that.
Oh, we have to control it. Maybe be next to the power and just disconnect the power. I don't want to
I can reach down there and do it.
Okay. Yeah, here we go, Jim.
All right. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Talking Volleyball here on the Spolidoro Sports Network tonight. We are once again live in Woodbury, Minnesota on a simply spectacular evening. Tonight's broadcast is sponsored by the Dan Stein Alligator Crocodile Environment Removal Service of Prior Lake, Minnesota, the Christine Forrester Unmentionable Company of Egan, and perpetual candidate Dr. David Titus Rowe of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Alongside Mike Spolidoro, I'm Jim Weldrock, and we are thrilled to be here.
All right, thank you for that, Jim. It is good to be back. It is good to be in the open air. We've got a 1-0 lead here. We got threes this afternoon. So we've got on the left side of the court, right up here at 1, we got Lindsay retrieving the ball, Steph here in the blue, and Gabby cleaning up the court. And on the right side, we have Maddie in the gray, Macy in the blue, and Laura in black. We'll go into a little bit more detail on the players as things get going here. We're playing threes. We've got 7 girls here. Looks like no one painted the line. 7 girls here, so we're going to rotate through 7 matches planned for this evening. We're going to have to figure out the score because with 3 folks it could take a while to get through. But it is awesome, Jim. The weather is beautiful, sunny. Sun will be a factor in this match. The court that we're looking at now with Steph, Gabby, and Lindsay, that is that sun drops. It'll be, we'll see that later this afternoon. It will be a factor.
Yeah, we noticed that last week with certain positions of the sun, and it was behind the clouds or not, it definitely
We got a lot in store for you this evening. We've got a few guests lined up. We've got plenty of talkers to get to, and I'm just looking forward to a nice afternoon, Jim.
Yeah, it should be really good. We're going to talk about recruiting a little bit. We're going to talk about the high school season, the season to the spring. They call it the 4th season, which is the 3rd season. Let's see what you guys think about that. There's a big announcements from the Big Ten today. All sports. That's the word they're using. That's football, volleyball. They also affects cross country and all the sports. So a lot of chatter around it.
I hope not, actually.
Social media sites. Get into that a little bit too, and we hope some of our call-ins will talk about some of that, their thoughts about all of this stuff.
Playing in the grass here, separate set of rules. There's no tipping, even with 3s, so the setter can go over, but the setter has to face the direction that they're going over. You can see some sunglasses on the court. You'll note the girls switch every 7 points. They'll change sides, try to even the playing field. There's a slight slope to the court. That's for drainage purposes. And that sun, like we said, is going to be a factor. We've got an interesting color set here. 3 grays, a couple blues, a black, and I think Audrey is in black as well. Audrey is the first player. She gets a break. Each player will get 1 break throughout the evening. Audrey is taking things first. I think we might have had a touch there.
Oh, that was close. We're going to go to the instant replay camera here. Oh, wait, we don't have one of those.
Let's just watch where the ball goes.
I think it was out.
I think it was out as well. Yeah, that's a monster crush. What are we playing to?
17.
Playing to 17?
Yeah.
Or you probably heard that on the field, Mike. The girls are playing to 17 points. It's an interesting number. Not sure of the origin, but take it.
Yeah.
Are you aware that we can't hear you down there?
Right, I gotta turn that down. We're a little afraid of feedback if we take callers and stuff. In between, I'll turn it on. Or you could, why don't you go over there and turn it up a little bit? I'll show you which knob to turn. If it gets to be a problem, which one to turn down so we don't. The 3rd knob from the left. Crank that up a little bit with feedback, just maybe turn it down. I'd say go up to about 10 o'clock would be a pretty decent place. You should hear us pretty good. Right, no more than that, but if we get feedback, just crank it down right away. So, where I'm on the edge, I should stand back a little bit, that'll help.
Do you think it's us or is it coming through the field, Mike?
Yeah, it might be that.
Good net, Joust. Oh, Manny. That was well played there, Maddie. Cleaning up the sunglasses in the middle of the point. Still getting to the ball. Well done.
Multitasking.
Now we got 9-3, so I'm going to edit this.
Okay, I'm hoping that maybe I'll get a text from somebody who's listening to the stream and make sure that we are getting good audio. Okay, we must be. Today's decision, are you referring to the U of M postponing volleyball to the spring, I believe that says, or MSHSL. Both. I think we want to visit a little bit about both situations. The Big Ten has been sort of telegraphing this message over the last few weeks here. First, they canceled the non-conference games in football and volleyball and probably all the sports, and then kind of hinted that more was going to be coming here. And today, of course, that decision did come down. The word that was used by the U was postponed, or by the Big Ten, I should say. So I'm not sure what that means, if they think they're going to try a spring season or not. I didn't really get that feeling, but I'm sure there'll be some clarification on that. I know some of the football teams are so upset about this that they're talking about some road games taking place. I know Nebraska and Iowa in particular wanted to play. Coach Frost, I think that's right. Nebraska really wanted to have a season. I think others were a little bit more. I don't know where PJ came down on this, but they were a little bit more conservative about their approach to it. So.
Yeah, the Nebraska message was not at all unclear.
No, they were very adamant about playing football. Of course, they're on the comeback down there from a few rough seasons, and I'm sure they wanted to get out. And of course, you could say that about our Gophers.
Make that 12-6. Good touch, good joust. All right.
Getting charging over there. We're still getting some of our stuff.
Yep.
I'm just going to try switching this to the other one just in case there's something there that's different. Certainly looks like the board is good here and we're getting power. I'd still be glad to hear one more text that you're hearing us out there. Anybody who's I think we're going to talk to Hannah Howell here in a little bit. I think after we talk to Lindsay's coach, we'll probably give Hannah a call and get her thoughts on things, but maybe either Hannah or her mom could text me just to make sure that
I am getting an indication, Jim, that we're in good shape.
Okay, good.
13-8-21 is a side switcher. My concern is with the power.
That part's good, but keeping the phone going here might be a little bit of a concern. We'll look into that a little bit here. A little bit different format tonight. We're not going to necessarily call every touch like we try and do on the indoor matches. We're going to let you enjoy the sights and sounds of the game here, and we're going to chat about some other things. We'll take some calls and visit with people and see whatever topics come up. Certainly hoping to hear from a few people tonight. One of them is Dan Stein, one of our lead sponsors. Of course, we're so happy to have them on board with their varmint removal service coming into the fall here. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for him with hornets and wasps and things like that come out in the fall. The mosquitoes tail off a little bit, but they're replaced by other critters that bedevil us, so we'll see how that goes.
Good net play here.
Yeah, we got some really good
blue on blue.
Good offensive joust there.
This is quite a comeback, Jim. As we've been chatting, there was a significant gap. It's now 13-10.
Okay, good. Got a good match going here.
Why don't you give that number out, Jim, in case folks are watching? They can call in, give some feedback.
If you got a pen handy, I'll give you 5 or 10 seconds to find something to write on. There's a lot of we do have a call here. I'll let you kind of take this.
Hi, this is Mike Spolidoro on Spolidoro Sports Network. Who do we have calling?
Jen Walker.
Well, hi, Jen. How are you?
Fine.
Good. Jen Walker, for those listening, volleyball coach at Wartburg College. She's the coach of the Wartburg Knights, 5-time conference champions, looking for 6. But, Jen, there was some significant news that came down today.
Yes, kind of a big deal. First for my career, for sure. And we'll be playing volleyball in the spring.
Okay.
Instead of the fall this year, yeah.
And we've had some of that happening up here in Minnesota as the high school season has shifted to the spring. So we've talked a lot to the girls about what that means to them. It'd be interesting to get your perspective on as a coach at the collegiate level. How do you plan? What's the process that you go through?
Yeah, and it's interesting because obviously that just came down today from our conference, and so we're still missing a lot of details about how we will move forward. We are hoping to hopefully have some fall practices, just as if we were a spring sport, to get some opportunities to get together in the fall and practice. We don't know how many dates that would be if we get them. When we will be starting, it's brand new, so. And facilities, we have to wait till after basketball gets done? Are we sharing time? So there's a lot of still question marks out there that we're considering. And one that woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning was, how do we deal with the locker room situation? And which is something that's kind of off the wall, but at the same time, it's like, well, where do we all go? So it's a lot of new things to consider that you don't usually have to when you're going in the regular schedule.
Yeah, that's right. And so who makes those decisions? Is that up to the school? Does Art come down with some guidelines in terms of locker room usage, or how does that all work?
Yeah, so for as far as locker rooms, that would be all Wartburg, but the final decision came down, I think, from a president's vote or an AD's vote, or maybe a combination. I know Wartburg was in favor of staying the course as we normally would have, kept keeping all our fall sports in the fall. They are keeping cross country and tennis and trap shooting in the fall. So that's a little bit different because those sports are more conducive, I guess, to being safe. And there's 4 other sports, both soccer's and then football and volleyball moved to the spring. So that came from, our higher-ups in the conference.
All right, very good. The setting here, Coach Walker, is the backyard of one of Lindsay's high school teammates. Lindsay just finished a set, and so she's joined us live here.
Hi, Coach Walker.
Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I miss you guys, though.
Oh, we miss you too.
Oh, it's time for you guys to be getting up on campus, and now we have to be delayed a little longer.
Yeah,
so
it's like
just
exactly 1 week delayed. Oh, how about another week? Oh,
right.
Throw in one more.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so different this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's got to be tough on you as coaches. It's certainly tough on the kids as they're trying to prepare
Absolutely.
and so we look forward to watching the girls play whenever they play because we love to watch them play.
Yeah, and our goal is maybe, since it would be a fall season, maybe we can have a scrimmage, an inter-squad scrimmage, and still get our parents down here and get a chance to watch the athletes play at least a little bit this fall and have a little normalcy to that. But we don't know anything until we're basically told what we're allowed to do. So
Sure.
we will wait and see. Yeah.
And I know that the tournaments were all canceled earlier. With the
Yes.
move to spring, is that something that might come back into play, or is it just too early to tell?
And gosh, we don't know, and that's something we're hopeful for, that maybe we would get some more play dates. But part of the reason why we have a reduced schedule, so 50% or less of our schedule, is to allow these athletes, if they wanted, to come back for that 5th season fall or whatever and get that opportunity to compete, and not using their eligibility this year.
Okay.
So, and it would really depend on what other conferences we're doing too, because regardless, if we wanted to do it, if other conferences are saying, no, we're just playing conference games, we don't have anybody else to go play. So
That's right.
they kind of help make that decision as well. So we will wait and see.
Yeah, I know you've got a lot going down there with the announcement as well as the weather. I hope you're all safe and protected.
Yes, Waverly skirted it. It was south of here, but Cedar Rapids is hurting. Des Moines is hurting. Even my parents down north of Des Moines got some tree damage. So, I mean, it was pretty hard hit, but Waverly is high and dry and doing fine.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've got a couple of friends from school who are without power for at least 4 days, and then other friends
Yes.
whose relatives have trees poking through their roofs now into their homes, bedrooms. So
Yes, it was awful. It was awful. And some places are saying they won't get power back for a week.
oh my gosh.
And, yeah, and thankfully it's not terribly hot, but still that's your home and you can't function really without power. So, yeah, it's pretty scary.
I'm telling all my buddies they should take a trip north and come visit me. We got power here, and houses without holes in them, and
Right. Big bonuses right there. Yeah, go see Lindsay. Exactly.
All right, Coach Walker, really appreciate your time. Appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's good to get perspectives from all the different impacted parties. So hopefully school goes off without a hitch. I just noticed Wartburg now has a dashboard in terms of reporting on cases. So hopefully with that management, things will go smooth for you and the school this fall, and we'll see some spring volleyball.
I am looking forward to all of that. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thanks again for calling
Yeah,
in.
definitely.
Really appreciate
Thank
the
you
time.
very much. Appreciate your
bet.
perspective, and yeah, good luck going forward here.
Thank you, and it's good talking with you guys.
Okay.
All right.
bye, Coach Walker.
Bye, Lindsay.
All right, that was Coach Jen Walker from Wartburg College. Really great that she called in, offering some perspectives from a coaching side. We don't often get to hear that, I don't think, as much. There's just so much uncertainty with this, and I think a lot of it is just this idea of wait and see what happens next. Like we keep talking about that, and it's just when you hear postponement and let's wait till spring and let's push out another couple of weeks, that's kind of a hopeful attitude, I think, and it's a good one because you just don't know enough yet. And if as long as you can delay those decisions, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't. I was going to make a comment about the Big Ten following the ARC's lead in terms of delaying spring sports, because I think the Wartburg decision, or the American Rivers Conferences, what I refer to as ARC,
Sure.
that decision was prior to the Big Ten. So I'm pretty sure the Big Ten followed their lead in that.
Well, I think you're probably right there, Mike. I think that makes sense. I see what everybody else does, and then we'll make our decision at the end. So who knows?
Yes. Okay, Jim. We definitely have a battery issue.
Okay. Well, I wonder what is. What would happen? 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 What would happen?
We'll drop for a moment sound-wise, but hopefully that'll come back quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for the next break here. And as always, if you've watched us in the past, we've said it previously, we'll say it again. There's a lot going on here. We run a very thin crew. Budgets are down with COVID. And so if the score isn't exactly right, we apologize in advance.
Depending on which side of that wrong score you're on, that players probably would not mind that too much.
Right. What do we got?
8-5.
Okay, not 6-6. All right, apologize for that. Good swing. Now 8-6. Okay, we're going to here for a moment, and let's just see if we can get some power back. Not there. So, what does that tell me? Maybe, hopefully we can get through this set, and we'll maybe try a different configuration.
Okay. I wonder if we should make that a call to Hannah Hall here and see if she's available. Text her and see if
Okay.
she'll be ready in the next few minutes here.
We got 9-8 playing to 17. Doesn't look like the sun's been a factor, Jim. I wonder if we're getting late enough in the season. The angle of the sun isn't quite. Yeah, Laura suffered from the sun on that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's, we're getting into that point in the year where it changes really pretty rapidly. August and September is a lot of change in daylight and angles and all that kind of thing. Now we get a touch here that
We see the experienced veteran there, Steph. She's definitely going for the sun shots.
yeah, for sure.
She's not her first rodeo.
We're waiting for confirmation from Hannah here if she's ready, and we're going to visit with her a little bit about from a soon-to-be high school seniors perspective. thinks of these changes and kind of how her recruiting process went. She's a recent commit to North Carolina A&T, which I believe is in Greensboro. So we'd like to talk to her a little bit about that. And, okay, we can call her. She is grabbing hands. Well, we can wait a few minutes. That's fine. I don't want to get anybody in trouble driving and talking on the phone here. So I think we can wait a little bit if that helps. That's not a problem. We'll wait a little bit here. Just need to get through this set. We can go over some other things here in between too. So definitely want to make our call to the perpetual candidate, one of our lead sponsors here tonight. He is told me he's going to be preparing dinner around 7 o'clock, so we'll see how he's doing with that. We don't know yet what office he's running for, but we're going to have a few words with a man known as Peterfus. For those of you that are not in on the inside joke on that one, it's one of my friends at work. He's taken on the persona of one of the guys from Hans and Franz on Saturday Night Live, a skit from a few years back.
Wait a minute, did you say persona?
Yeah.
I thought that was actually him.
Well, he's pretty good. Okay, now we're getting a call in here. I think this is going to be greetings, caller. Who are you and where are you calling from?
I'm Hannah Howell. I'm from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful, Hannah. How are things with you?
Pretty good.
So we're enjoying some backyard volleyball here and visiting a little bit in between. We're out of our normal routine. We're not doing full play-by-play here of what's going on in front of us. People can watch that, but we're kind of interested in your opinion on a few different things. I guess the first thing is just what's your thoughts on what's happened with the fall season, with everything moving to spring. How does that affect you? And just give us your thoughts about that a little bit.
Well, a lot's happened in the past couple months, but so I'm kind of like numb to everything that's happening now. So moving the season was more of a shock than I thought it was going to be, because we had been playing volleyball already. Like, I've been going to open gyms, we were playing at life, so it was just really sad to hear that they're moving it, but almost expected.
Right, yeah, I feel like, the summer's been a lot of people certainly hoped this thing was going to be cleared up in the summer and that the heat would get rid of it.
16-11
out of this thing, and that's not
What do you have?
And, like we talked about before with Coach Walker, that there's just a lot of this is just delayed. Let's wait with our decision for another month. It'll get better in another month and so forth. And now we're into this period of pushing it out to spring. So that's, the thought is there that it's going to interfere with club. And I don't know if we're going to have players having to make decisions about whether they play for high school or whether they play for club. I don't know if you want to comment on that a little bit, just what your thoughts. I don't expect you to say what you would do, but what you think of that conundrum that's going to be facing us here.
Yeah, that's for sure been the biggest problem that I saw with moving into spring. Because it's really a lose-lose situation either way. In the past, they've not allowed Minnesota State High School activities and club activities to be happening at the same time. So I'm hoping they change that rule. But then even if they do change the rule, then you're asking us to do goals or choose. Either way, you're just players, you're splitting them up, you're asking them to do too much. It's a lose-lose situation, but I hope they can find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I feel like, and I'm not trying to poke at the state high school league or anything, but I imagine that's not part of their decision process necessarily. They don't necessarily think of club when they make these decisions. They have their own protocols and things to worry about, but it's certainly going to have an effect, and I think in volleyball perhaps more than any other sport. Basketball maybe comes to mind too, where club really comes into play a lot. But I feel like that they haven't thought through those details. Well, again, they're just going to delay things and we'll figure it out when that time gets here. But man, that was right in the middle of club season, all the big trips to Denver and the other local tournaments and so forth. So I don't know. I guess
I heard that mention one statistic, or somebody said that only some 10% of volleyball players play club during that time as well. And I was like, well, those are the actual players that you have on your varsity team. Those are the players that matter, are the ones that are club as well. So I don't think compared to them at all.
Right. I just don't think that the consideration is there for, saying your top players are going to play high school. Well, no, they've got your top players have a decision to make, and that's going to be a tough spot to put them in, that's for sure. So. Well, tell us a little bit about your commitment to North Carolina A&T. We want to hear about that a little bit, how that process went, and maybe a little bit about the Aggies and what this hope is there for the season, whenever that might happen, and just give us your thoughts on that.
I'm super excited. It's a recent development. I've been talking to them since the spring, but obviously they hadn't had a chance to see me play. So most of my recruiting process happened virtually, which was so weird. Never could have expected that. But that is the reality for a lot of girls right now. So I had a virtual tour of campus. I met some of the team on Zoom, over FaceTime, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'll be playing there, and I plan to study architectural engineering. They're in Spolidoro, North Carolina, with a stellar engineering program, a brand new engineering building, which I'm really excited about. What else? They, as of right now, have canceled / postponed this season. The conference they're in has decided to not play any of the fall sports, not football, nothing. And they're hoping, since last time I talked to the coaches, they're hoping they can get some spring tournaments in, or maybe if the NCAA moves into spring, they'll participate that.
Okay.
But the girls are on campus, they're practicing because there will be no games in their conference at all.
Well, yeah, that's really got to be a challenge, and maybe I'll have you just talk a little bit more about what your advice would be to, say, girls, kids, whatever, coming up in some of the next couple of years of classes. I have a feeling we're going to be dealing with this same type of virtual recruiting in the next couple of years. Any thoughts to kind of buoy their spirits a little bit on this whole thing?
Get video any way you can. This spring, I built like a attachment to my basketball hoop instead of a volleyball, and just hit against the garage and took video of it and posted it. And a couple coaches noticed it, and they appreciate you putting in the effort. So just get video any way you can with the practice, and of course reach out constantly. Just get your name in their inbox, and that's how you get to college. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes sense. Like you say, you have to be a little bit inventive, just like you would with a lot of things during this time. What can I do to still enjoy my sport, even though I can't play in games, and things like we're doing here tonight with backyard volleyball, which is great. It's getting the girls out and we're playing and we're socializing as best you can. But yeah, definitely a challenging time, that's for sure. So, any other things that you'd like to talk about? Any questions? We're broadcasting out in the court here too, so people can hear. And if you have anything to add, that'd be just wonderful. No,
I just say hi to everyone who's there that I know. Sounds like a lot of fun. We'll be ready for having a great day.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and thanks for calling in and being a part of the broadcast here. It's just fantastic. So good luck with whatever comes next, and we'll look forward to visiting with you soon, that's for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was Hannah Hall joining us from her car. I think she pulled over, visited with us a little bit, so that was really nice. Again, she's...
we hope she pulled over.
Yeah, we hope she pulled over, following hands-free and all that good stuff. So, she was on that team with Laura that won the national championship. Was that 2017? As 14s, I think that's right. I'm not sure if I got the year right there, but as 14s, they won their division in Orlando, which was an absolute thrill for everybody that was involved with that. So appreciate Hannah calling in here, and wish her the best of luck.
So Jim, I think at the next side switch, I'm going to reconfigure, so we'll lose audio on stream for a little bit, so we'll call it a commercial break. But I'm trying to figure out here, definitely have a power issue, so.
All right, we're going to see if we can't put something together here. We need some, I have another battery. could look into that if we could manage some kind of a...
All right, we'll head off to a commercial break here.
All right, we'll be back in a little bit.
I think and you can talk to the phone. Don't hear what's on the phone.
Well, I'm going to keep talking here, I think, a little bit. And,
Yeah.
I'm going to plan on posting this, too, just for the fun of it, as an audio-only file. If somebody wanted to just listen to the audio, I think you could probably do that through your car or phone hooked into your car, whatever. If you felt like doing that and not necessarily wanting to watch the whole video. So I'm just going to kind of keep with this class for the class of 2021. Most are of the top 20. We're just going to talk about the top 20 here. And when we get back from our commercial break, we'll
I think we're actually back, Jim.
Gary Gaffer tape, and I don't think I actually have any long, but always necessary in the photography,
What's score?
videography business. We're going to get you updated with the score here. Once again, we're not doing full play-by-play here, but you get a pretty good idea of what's going on with the action out in the court here. Just a fantastic court here at the home of Jeff and Laura Nupp.
Lana. Jeff and Lana.
Sorry.
What is your daughter's name?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's on my brain, and we got a little joke about that coming here in a little bit too. Names, spelling, stuff like that. Anyway,
We're going to pop off for 12 seconds here.
really appreciate them hosting us here again tonight. What a fantastic night for volleyball here. The sun has disappeared, and I think it may be gone for the night. And that will take some of the strategy out of the action here. You if you're pulling out of the USB only when you're pulling out of these,
Okay.
which I am, so that I know the board is working right. But would this explain why we were losing power to the phone last week too? Maybe it had nothing to do with this part of it. Or do you think something upgraded?
Yeah, it's a good question.
All right, I think we're back on. All right, I'm going to go over this just a little bit. This is kind of filler in between here, but we talked about the top 20 for the class of 2021. And most of these players are committed. We have several from the local teams here. I'm going to use East Ridge and Northfield I'm going to call them our local teams tonight because that's the ones I'm familiar with. But interestingly enough, we have 3 out of the top 20 who have not committed yet. One is Claire Vekic from Greenway. I believe that's a hockey school, Greenway of Coleraine, way up north. The next one is number 15, and this is a local player that I believe our East Ridge players will know. That's Lauren Galvin. She has not yet committed, so it'll be interesting to see where she ends up. And the last is Megan Riley, and she's a player from Northfield, so we're going to see where she ends up. All right, we're getting a call here. Kira, how are you doing?
Hey, Jim. I'm doing great, thanks. I heard you talking about, I think, some of the Northfield players and the East Ridge players. Is that what you were doing there?
Yeah, we're going over the top 20 in the class of 2021 and who has not committed. There's one from Greenway up north, and then there's Lauren Galvin, who has, according to this, and I'm reading this, by the way, I want to mention this is from Prep Dig.
Okay,
so
well,
that's where I'm getting it from.
I called because I was just talking to Lauren Galvin's mom, Connie, and we have a great idea that we wanted to run by you and all of the listeners as well now. So Northfield, would Northfield have a senior group that they would want to have a play date with the Eastridge seniors? So like an Eastridge seniors versus Northfield seniors, just to kind of give these senior girls something fun to showcase their skills, just get together, have fun, since, season is no more for this fall. We were thinking something to do to honor our seniors and give them a chance to just have some fun.
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea, and I'm getting nods from out on the court here, so it sounds like that might be something that people are definitely would be into,
Okay.
and I think it sounds like a fantastic idea.
I saw a mixture, to be honest with you, Jim, of nods and
And head shaking? Okay.
no, I think generally not.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, yep. Let's talk more about that one later. Then see if we can find a date and a place and see what we can do.
Yeah, I think like we talked about before, it's going to be important to find a way to adjust. And with the situations the way they are, it's weird, it's strange, it's unknown, but you do what you can to make things happen, and that's what we'll certainly look to do. Certainly.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. That was Kara Spolidoro calling in. And it sounds like some things might be in the works there to get an Eastridge Northfield match going. So, well, I
Yeah,
wonder.
sounds like some things are in the works. Connie Galvin is the Booster Club president, and so Kara went to pick up some masks, I believe. I don't know if Northfield is doing something similar, but they ordered masks for the players, and the parents had the opportunity to buy them as well. So
Okay.
Just to know, we're not talking about the grass game much, but we are in extra innings here. It's 17-17. They're playing to 17, but as with any volleyball matchup, you win by 2, so it's overtime.
All right. Volleyball's version of overtime. That's good. Maybe a little bit better than we did the last week.
I think with that, free volleyball is ended.
All right. Just won the Big Nine Conference for the 3rd year in a row, and I think we were 33-0 in sets, I believe. Finished 27-1 in the regular season with their only loss to number 1 ranked Egan. That was in the Apple Valley tournament. Northfield was ranked nationally, finished 2nd in that Apple Valley tournament, and finished the regular season as the number 1 seed in Section 3A. But the Raiders' fortunes changed as they were upset in the section semifinal to Lakeville South in 5 games, so 5 sets. But this year, the Raiders are looking for redemption, and they have the talent of achieving their goals. So that's kind of a little bit about Northfield. They list a few players here. Emma Torstensen, one of our defensive specialists, and Sylvia Koenig, Megan Riley. We talked about Megan making her college decisions. Annalise Larson and Sydney Janes are noted, along with a player that I had not heard of, Lauren Wellbrock. Lauren Wellbrock. It says about Lauren, primarily a defensive specialist, Wellbrock was thrust into more offensive duty with the injury to Rachel Weber, and she responded in a big way, finishing 6th on the team in kills, 5th in aces, and continued her excellent defensive play with 66 digs. So that's a little bit about Northfield, and we will talk about Eastridge here at the next break. I wonder if the Steins might be available, and this could be a good chance to bring them into the program here and see if they're available. I'm going to just kind of take a standby here and see. Maybe Dan will call me, otherwise I will have to give him a ring. Boy, I don't know if I have his number. I may have to rely on him to call in.
I have it, it's not accessible.
Okay, well, we can wait on that a little bit. Maybe we'll give our candidate a call. We can do that too and get just a few words of wisdom from the man known as Dieterfuss. I'm going to text him and see what his availability is here. I don't want to bother him cooking at home. I don't know what he's preparing tonight, but I know that
Probably sounds something like schnitzel.
I think it was. Last week it was some sort of schnitzel. But we'll see what he's up to here. I will text him.
Got quite a crowd on hand this evening.
Oh, okay. Dan Stein is going to call in a bit. Good. I'm glad he's listening. We're going to just wait for that, and we'll get to the man known as Dieter in a little bit here. Let him finish up his evening meal over there in South Minneapolis. That sun went away, and I think that's helped the players a little bit. Stay a little cooler. Wow, good hit there. Holy cow.
It's definitely right down the middle.
Yes.
Well done.
when you have to chase the ball back to the next yard over, it's
still
definitely a good
going.
one.
That direction is the west. I think it's crossed the Dakota borders.
Yeah, it could be. Out to Sturgis, maybe,
It could be.
where the big rally is going on and large numbers of people are gathering. We'll see how that all turns out. I'm sure the people who are into the numbers and doing the analytics of this whole thing they maybe don't want to admit it, but they're probably excited to see what happens with a big gathering like that. What are the
I
results?
think that's right. I think it's there's going to be a lot of people looking for validation of theories and folks making other comments about how the numbers support their theories as well.
Right.
So.
And we on our Spolidoro Sports Network here, we strive to stay away from politics. So we won't delve into it any more than that. You can have your own opinion on whether they should be gathering like that or not. I can see why they need it in the local economy out there. It's probably the primary event in that area to bring people in.
I think it's somewhat in ways akin to the state fair, where there are people who probably rely on that event for most of their yearly income.
For sure. It's like Black Friday for some folks. I mean, that's when all the shopping is done. The rest of the year is all preparation for that. So we'll see what happens.
I was saying, good crowd on hand here. Lots of parents down there conversing, taking pictures, embracing. Quite possibly could be one of the last times these girls get together. Many head back to college, and
yeah, the summers are short. We know that in Minnesota, but for sure it feels that way more than ever this year with all the things that have been going on that are occupying your mind and concentration, and you have to realize that summer's here. We have to enjoy it while we can, because it certainly is fleeting. Wow, getting some really good rallies going here and some really high level play.
I tell you what's most different about this than we were on the air last week, the net play. With that third person at the net, there's been lots of blocking and jousting. Good cut shot by Steph there.
Very good.
I think that ties us up at 8s.
Okay. Keep watching for Dan Stein here.
I think he's rounding up Bella, and he'll be calling shortly.
Excited to hear how the varmint removal business is going.
That's a good cut by Gabby. What a beautiful evening, Jim. The cloud cover is set in a little bit, and the slight breeze not impacting the game at all.
No, but it makes it really comfortable, that's for sure. Again, if you're just joining us, we are live in Woodbury, Minnesota.
Maybe take the opportunity to a little more of the players again, Jim. On the left side of the court here, we have Lindsay Spolidoro. She just went up for the kill. She will be a sophomore at Wartburg College next fall, or this fall. Maddie Knupp, who made the play at the net there, she is also a sophomore. She goes to St. Olaf. And rounding out that team is Gabby.
That's where I got that from.
Okay. Jim just pointing out an error in the St. Olaf webpage.
I was on campus today at St. Olaf. We did our bike ride through there at lunchtime, and just fantastic.
I'm definitely behind on the score here. I'll listen carefully here. 11-10 being the score. Let's see what side of the court. On this side of the court, hitting the ball now, Laura Welbrock. She is going to be a senior at Northfield. And serving, Audrey Spolidoro will be a senior at Eastridge. And Steph will be a sophomore. She goes to plays volleyball down in Florida, very high level. just fun to watch these girls.
Yes, it is. Oof.
I think 12-12 is the correct score.
Yeah, I think it was out. Yep. All right.
You know, I mean, we broadcast. We're
adding another responsibility here to
we
our.
make officiating decisions.
Yeah, it's good.
The girls will learn that decisions. I mean, money. You follow money, right?
Yeah,
when
for
in
sure.
decision making.
Absolutely.
Or back. That's to the east. That
Yeah,
one
that
just
one-
rolled into the St. Croix River, I believe.
Yeah, that really took off.
I think the score's right at 13-12. That was a good cut shot there to tie things up at 13.
Down.
All right, we're joined now by Dan Stein, our lead sponsor. How are things, sir?
Very well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing just wonderful here. It's a fantastic evening in Woodbury here. Beautiful weather and fantastic outdoor court here, so we're really having a good time.
Yeah, we've been watching the action a little bit for a while here, so it looks like the girls are getting some good touches and getting some work in, so that's good.
Hey, how is the feed, Dan? We've been suffering technical challenges recently. How is it coming through for you?
You know, when I first started listening, you guys were talking about an issue you had last week, and it sounded like, I couldn't catch it, but it sounded like you made an adjustment, and then it went from kind of garbled to perfectly clear. So whatever you did seemed to clear things up, and then once in a while it'll cut out, but it's pretty good now.
Okay, good. Good to hear.
Yeah, I think our challenge tonight is going to be battery power in the phone. So there's always something that bedevils us a little bit here, but we'll work through that. And,
Yeah, Dan, actually, we did determine root cause in our issues last week, and it had squarely to do with a cable that appeared to have been chewed through.
Yeah.
Some varmint running around up here in the broadcast location here at the NUP. So I think we could invoke your services and really try to clean this thing up.
And the other thing, I did receive a message on Facebook from Dale Forrester, who was concerned about some varmints in his pond, I believe, and he wanted to know if you'd come over right away and take care of that. So.
Absolutely, you know, and that's not we sponsor this in order to get you guys out there and show the volleyball teams for all the people that the grandparents and the parents that can't be there, but it also is to drum up a little business. So it sounds great that we're getting some leads out of this.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about how things are with the Dan Stein Alligator Crocodile and Varmint Removal Services. How's business, and what is the outlook here for the fall season?
Gosh, the business has been good, but actually we're trying to do our part to help the community. So we've transferred some of our technical experts over to the COVID side of things, trying to work on a vaccine. So we've shifted some resources.
That was going to be one of my questions. Was it's maybe wasp and hornet season coming up, but I have a question mark by viruses. Maybe wondering if you were going to be able to offer some assistance in getting rid of this thing.
Yeah, I'm trying, but now I'm noticing my partner Lana rolled her eyes at me at that last statement. So maybe we'll stick to the varmints.
Well, the rumors are that the virus came from a snake in China. So it makes sense, Dan, that if you're using your varmint removals to use those animals to try to create a vaccine, that you might be onto something. I know your partner there is not overly supportive, but I think you have the support of the Spolidoro Sports Network.
Oh, for sure.
Well, and that's all that matters. I mean, Lana and her medical background and job is really not that important. So I think we'll go with you guys.
If the line goes suddenly dead, we'll know exactly what happened.
We'll know
They're
what
not
happened.
for him in Woodbury.
There's plenty of room for Dan in Woodbury.
Oh my. Well, that's good to hear. We, as always, appreciate your sponsorship and your friendship here with the Spolidoro Sports Network. So, do you have Bella along with you there? And maybe we could get her on for a few comments.
Bella's at the table here.
All
Hi.
right. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing well here, having fun, trying to adjust to all the news. Of course, the news today was that the Big Ten is also postponing their fall sports season. Maybe give us your thoughts a little bit about what was announced by the State High School League last week with the moving of volleyball to this new fourth season, which is actually a third season in the spring. What do you think of all this stuff?
I don't really know what to think yet, to be honest. It really depends on what's going to happen with club season. I know for a lot of people that I've heard talking about it, that if it comes down to it, a lot of us would choose club over high school, which is obviously a choice that I wouldn't want to have to make. But actually, it's a tough choice, and hopefully they can figure out a way for us to be able to do both.
Yeah, I think we talked about that with Hannah a little bit, that's probably not something that the high school league has considered a lot. I'm sure they know that it's there, but I don't know that they know how much effect they're going to have on the high school teams when you do force players to make that choice. And I kind of have to agree with you. I think most of the players are going to choose club because that's your longer season. That's the people you spend most of your time with. That's a lot of your training, your background. Is the high school season has become very short and very focused. So I think that's going to be a tough spot, and I'm not going to put you on the spot on what you choose, but yeah, definitely it's going to put a lot of people in a bit of bother, that's for sure. So
Yeah, there's I don't know if there's this ongoing debate in the Southwest there, but on this side of town, there's been some questions as terms of what can and cannot be done. For example, the clubs have all announced a fall program. But I think some of the high schools are also trying to get some practices in the fall, and there's been some debate over here about is it legal or possible for players to play both club and some sort of high school practice, and I think when the clubs open up their programs, they filled up rapidly, and I think a lot of kids rushed to join, and now the feedback is coming down that maybe that precludes them from participating in high school. So
right.
I don't know, are you hearing anything like that, Bella, over there, or?
Yeah, so I actually had a meeting with my high school coach today, and I asked him about that, and he said, yeah, for sure, at least at Prior Lake, we have to choose one or the other for fall. So, which
it's just entirely unfortunate, Jim.
Yeah,
it just reinforces the frustration with the State High School League that
Sure.
they weren't out in front of this
Right.
to really understand the impacts of the decision.
Yeah,
It's
I think
disappointing.
that's tough, that's for sure. So
And the email we got from the coach was, it was after we had already signed up for clubs, and that sounds like Bella met with him. I didn't realize that, but the email he sent out this week was information on the high school fall. We call it a season, but it's practice a couple nights a week or a couple days a week. No matches, no outside, scrimmages or anything against other schools.
right.
And he said, you didn't. The wording wasn't that you for sure can't do it, but he said, please don't. We don't want you to be spreading, playing with all these other people at club, then coming to the high school, and then wearing your body down by playing for two teams and things like that. But it sounds like it's definitely a no-go.
Yeah, I thought about that too. You may end up with more volleyball than you bargained for here with this decision. There's going to be offers coming from all over the place to play and practice and have scrimmages and things like that, and I think maybe players will have to pick and choose a little bit, so as like you mentioned, not to wear themselves down too much.
I have a longtime friend from growing up, coach up in northern Minnesota, basketball and volleyball, and he called me and we chatted about it. He was on the call or the meeting when the high school league made the decision to put fall sports back, and we were talking about club a little bit, and he said they were hoping that they were going to be able to put together some sort of waiver that would allow kids to play at both high school and club, but if that's what would be required, I don't think it's technically something they can do right now without them coming up with some sort of waiver plan.
Yeah, and again, I just feel like this wasn't considered, and nobody has a consistent message here, and who knows what you're hearing from, your individual coaches if different schools are telling their kids different things and different clubs, and I don't know. That part of it is really going to be a mess to try to sort through all of that. That's for sure.
He did say during the meeting that it was club season was brought up briefly, but it was just kind of brought up, but not a lot of discussion about the effect of volleyball club season on moving the high school season backs.
Right. Yeah, it's certainly a strange time, and I don't know. We'll just kind of always say the same thing. We're going to have to wait and see what happens next, I feel like. So.
Yeah.
One more question for Bella. Any thoughts about college? She's also going to be a senior this fall, and you thought about that process at all? And what challenges have you found as with this whole thing as related to choosing a college and thinking about that?
Yeah, it's definitely been pretty weird. I mean, I've been able to email coaches, but because of all this COVID stuff, all of the campuses have been shut down until very recently, so haven't really been able to go on any visits or anything like that. And I've also run into an issue with a specific college where I haven't seen it from other people yet, but I've heard that it might also be an issue other places, that they're going to be redshirting some seniors, so they might be losing more spots for the 2021 class and potentially even taking away certain people's scholarships for other seniors to stay and play for another year.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that could come up too. I remember that was, I think, discussed with the Gopher softball team. I believe one of their top players was, they were talking about an additional season, but then you have to wonder, if you're a new recruit, what does that mean for me? That spot I was thinking I was going to go into maybe isn't going to be there, and again,
right.
Just more complications. So.
Yeah, there's been talks about that with Lindsay's college. I think Coach Walker referenced it a little bit around players limiting part of their season this year to get a red shirt. So, yeah, I think that will be a factor in recruiting and in everything. So, some kids may choose to take that extra year. Some kids may choose not to, and so.
I think it's really a lot of it's going to depend on the level of your play and the schools and that. But we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely having an effect though that we've noticed.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I just don't think they've thought through all of the ramifications here, and maybe they have. I don't know. It's hard to play armchair quarterback with some of this. I'm sure these meetings have been pretty contentious of, what should we do, and playing through all these different scenarios. I got to believe they've done their due diligence on that and thought about it. But still, no matter what you decide, you're going to have some people that don't like the decision or that it affects in a bad way. So that's really a tough spot. That's for sure.
Well, maybe we missed it, but what have your girls seen or had anything interesting come up like that?
I'm sorry. I did not hear that. Go one more time.
We may have missed it on the broadcast, but what have your two girls seen? I mean, are they coming up with any issues similar to that, or what are they thinking?
Well, I think it's kind of the same thing. It's just it just makes things so much more complicated about how are you going to contact coaches? When we talked about campus visits, Hannah said the same thing. She had done a virtual visit at North Carolina A&T, but that's not the same thing as driving around the campuses either. And I know at St. Olaf they have a driving tour you can take and see some things, but the campuses there's nothing there at all. So that makes it difficult too. You don't get that same feel of, hey, let's go on a campus tour, and you have students leading that, and you get a feel for what a day is like. And at that school, that's just not there. So I know it's complicated for Laura. She's still thinking through a lot of that, and what do I want to do, but you just can't do the same things you normally would as part of this process. So yeah, we've definitely found the same things.
Similar to Audrey, virtual tours, they're not the same, and I think it's hard in the recruiting process that you really you need contact with coaches, and it's just hard to get. So that's been our experience as well.
I think some more of the colleges should be open. I know St. Olaf's opening up as far as going to school here in a week or two, and so hopefully they'll start allowing more on-campus visits going ahead. We're certainly going to have the time, it looks like, this fall without a high school season, so I just got to look at a bright spot there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that people. One thing you can't say this year is I didn't have the time to do that, or I couldn't get to it because we have too many other things going on. That's definitely not a good excuse anymore. You have to find things to do with your time and maybe hit some of those projects and things that you just couldn't and did not have time for otherwise.
Absolutely.
Well, any final thoughts? We sure appreciate you joining us tonight.
Absolutely, it's fun, and thank you guys so much for doing this on a somewhat regular basis, and we'd love to see you guys soon and get together.
Yeah, for sure. We appreciate it, and similar sentiments here. We'd love to get together with you guys and appreciate you joining. Bella, thank you for your thoughts on the whole thing, and look forward to seeing you soon, and best of luck as the process goes forward here. So we'll talk to you all soon.
All right, thank you guys.
Take care. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Got kind of a barn burner here, Jim. 16-15 is the score. This is second set point for Laura, Lindsay, and Maddie.
Oh, good spot there.
Good spot. And that'll do her. No free volleyball for this set. All right.
All right, I'm going to read through the Northfield thing on Prep Dig here, and then I think we'll give Dieter a call, and we'll just visit with him a little bit. So this is, we read through Northfield. This is Eastridge, and this was just published.
Yeah, I was reviewing this earlier, Jim, and there's some debate that this generated in my household. So go ahead.
Well, we're going to read through this quick. So the title of this article is Rankings Update: Eastridge's 2021 Sensational Six. Uncommitted prospects is the other picture they have here. Yeah, and here's a little blurb about Eastridge. Had an excellent 2019 season, winning the Suburban East Conference. They went undefeated against conference opponents and eventually lost to Egan in 3 close sets. A handful of their players have ranked high in the class of 2021 for some time. However, many of them are still looking forward to their senior season and a chance at a collegiate career. So the players that they mention here are Jaden Garrison, Lauren Galvin, and Macy Grahan, Emma Stam. And then there's one other player here. We're going to read a little bit more detail on this one. Next up is setter Audrey Spolidoro. She used her height and speed to help run the Eastridge offense. Spolidoro is an accomplished athlete playing for Minnesota Northern Lights 17 Red, Eastridge's women's hockey team, and the Raptors track and field squad. And here we go now. And although hockey may have her heart, we'd hate to see those gifted hands give up setting. She has proven she can manage various sports at a high level. So there's some comments about the Eastridge Raptors.
Yeah, and Jim, I think the comment there and the question is having the heart. Hockey having the heart. It's a good question. Audrey, all through her life, has been a heart is the season. And so, which, you know, her mom and I have tried to promote multi-sport athletes. We're firm believers that is helpful for any athlete. But I wonder where that information came from is really my question.
Well, you know, and again, that, by the way, if I didn't mention it, that's all Prep Dig. We appreciate their coverage of the sport. I don't know where they get all their information. They are typically cover, I think, mostly upper Midwest, but I looked at their map, and they do kind of go all over the country with some of their coverage. So I'm not sure where they get it. I'm assuming that some of it comes from high school coaches, maybe club coaches. I don't know how many different people you could call to get that information. Some of it is... I don't want to say it's manufactured, but I'm thinking they fill in the blanks here and there with some of the players. And
speaking of club coaches, love to take a call from any coaches that might be out there listening.
Absolutely. Comes to mind as the coach, of course, Coach DJ Nate from 17 Red this year. We could also potentially hear from Jeff Hogue.
The Hoagster?
The Hoagster. We'd love to hear from the Hoagster. Always enjoy his insight, and we know that yellow cards are his favorite type of card, and it's always fun to visit with him, that's for sure. We'll see if we can attract any other callers here.
just full transparency here. All the matchups and the matches you're seeing were randomly chosen via playing cards. The schedule was set with numbers, and then each player drew a card to establish their position. So there was no favoritism in terms of who gets a break when. Not that any of that matters, Jim, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
No, that's good. I feel like random chance was definitely used here to promote fair play.
Part of the strategy here, Jim, is oftentimes, oftentimes this event ends with a parent-kid match. And based on previous performance, part of the idea here was to get more kids, to get more kid playing time, and potentially not allow the parent-player match due to light, of course. I mean, the parents are ready to play, but if the kids are scared and want to extend the evening, then darkness may set in. I hope the field mic was not able to pick up that.
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting some strange looks from players out on the court here.
Apparently, we have added an element to the show, and that is a speaker that can be heard down on the court.
Yeah, that seems to be doing pretty good. I think it's maybe
started with a bang.
Yeah, this thing I got from a friend at work, and he told me if I could get it to work, I could have it. Well, it sort of works. Waking it up is a bit of an issue. Once it's going, it seems like, I think it's like old tube-based equipment. There's no tubes in this one, but that can be kind of an issue. You have to let things
Does
get
that mean
going.
you sort of have it?
Yeah.
If it sort of works, you sort of have it.
I sort of have it, yeah. I get to keep it while it's working. Well, it's working right now, so I'm going to keep it. But yeah, it's added a little bit of an element here. Our audience can hear what we're talking about. The players can hear. We can throw some barbs out there once in a while, so that's been good.
I think the barb in order here is I'm going to try to get a little bit of, there's some hustle anyway from that side of the court. They're down significantly. Well, see, there you go. Right there, hustle pays off, Jim.
Yeah, always does.
Good scramble over there and cause a side out. Audrey runs into the next county to retrieve the ball. Stephanie's powerful hit and does not take a pause before serving.
No, there isn't. There isn't any of the waiting for an official here. If you're familiar with indoor volleyball, there's always an up ref who gives you the signal when it's okay to serve. And, of course, once in a while that the serve happens with.
So I guess we could bring up at this point that point should have been flipped. We'll have to get a ruling from the court there. Are you replaying that point, ladies, or is that point count? Maddie withholds, abstains. We'll wait for the score call here, which there was none.
Oh, good spot there.
Takes it to 13-3, I think. Young Macy has made the declaration.
Yeah.
Gabby, I think her shoes were untied, had an equipment timeout there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, caught the line. I heard an in. Oh, that was a father-friendly call, it looks like.
I got another controversy with the line judging here.
Whoop.
Got a bike trail, walking trail right out the back yard here, and we're watching some rollerbladers work their way up what looks like a pretty healthy hill there. I think that would be a fun spot to ride a bike and attack that little hill right there.
Yeah, we mentioned this last week as well, Jim. It is a security problem. Lots of people come down the trail. They can view through the trees without purchasing a ticket to the event.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
So,
we need to do something to control that. We've had some counterfeiting issues. We're going to have to cover some of that. A lot of demand here to be in the few seats that we have in the arena here. So, yeah, we're going to have to look at season ticket sales possibly.
This is just such an unbelievably great environment here.
Yes, it is.
The grass is manicured. I understand that the grounds crew Simba fertilizes the court, and so.
All right, we're getting a report from down towards the Northfield area that our audio is much better than last time. We have a few lags. That's always there. I think that's just the internet playing with you a little bit, but yeah, sounds like we're getting out okay, and kind of waiting for an answer here from the perpetual candidate, the man they call Dieter. Again, I don't want to bother him if he's busy with his condolence speech,
his acceptance speech?
I don't know which one it would be. I mean, it's hard to accept an office that you have not even filed for. I don't know how his campaign works. It's based on $1 or $2 and 1 or 2 beers. That's the basis, the whole basis of the Dieterfus campaign. So his platform is simple, to the point. We'll see if we can maybe get a couple of comments from him.
He's shown consistency, Jim, in terms of his lack of office declaration.
Yes.
That's been a consistent trend of his platform.
I'm
not sure if it helps, but
we used to call him, until he could decide what office he was running for, we've had to come to call him.
Is it 16-14 for the 3rd point in a row here?
Wow.
But it feels like this is the 3rd point in a row at 16. But we will play on. Okay.
All right.
I had the score clearly incorrect.
Yeah. Like we mentioned, it's hard to keep up with all of the different tasks that we have here at Spolidoro. Keeping up with the technical side, producing, interviewing different people. We've had some great call-ins tonight, that's for sure. We appreciate everybody that was able to visit with us. We can certainly take some more calls. So if you're interested, to let us know your thoughts about all of.
Yeah.
Oh, Macy.
Yeah.
Welcome to how's the evening?
It's all right. It's good. I mean, it's great. It's good. Yeah, it's fun.
It's all right.
No,
we're all over the board there.
Yeah.
It was really you
no,
covered
it's
it all.
good. I love it.
You love it. You're having a good time. The weather's held out. It's nice.
Yeah, there's clouds.
There are clouds. That's great. And are you tracking how you're doing today?
I think, let's see, I lost, and then I lost, and then I won, and then I lost, and then I lost, and then I won. So I won 2 and I lost the rest. So, I mean, I think I'm winning.
We'll take that as winning as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You've missed a heck of a program unless you've picked up. We've had lots of good callers. We'll take callers at any time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anybody else?
Yeah, okay. Should I put this back?
Oh, are you done?
I kind of have to play.
Oh,
all
right.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I
it.
can be back if you want, but yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, that was Macy Spolidoro. She's required back out on the court, so we'll let her do that. I have not heard back from the man called Dieter, and I hate to bother him on election night, so we'll wait and see if he's available.
Look at this, Jim. We have, looks like this is the Spolies and the not Spolies match. Again, on the, go through the players in case you've been on and off here on our left. Or sorry, on our right, now serving, that's Macy Spolidoro, and her sister's Audrey is in the front in black, and Lindsay, who just bumped that. And then on the other side of the court, that hitter there, Stephanie Barber, will be a sophomore at the University of West Florida this coming fall. And Laura Welbrock, she will be a senior at Northfield High School. And then, what was the score? Ones. And then Gabby played volleyball at Eastridge Charter School with these girls, and now attends St. Ben's.
Okay.
Spolidoro, we got a couple in high school. Macy will be a freshman, Audrey will be a senior, and Lindsay attends Wartburg College. We heard from Lindsay's coach earlier about the decision for their conference to postpone to the spring, shortly followed by the Big Ten's decision.
Right.
It's an interesting time that we live in, Jim, and I'm just happy that we are here to live through it.
Yes, I think that's good. And again, we talked about making the best of it. I mean, that's really all there is. You don't need to be hopeless. You don't need to give up on it all. I think finding ways to do the things that you like, with the limitations that are in place as best you can. I think that's the only thing that there is to do. So hopefully everybody is able to do some of the things they enjoy, maybe not large gatherings and that sort of thing, but find a way to do what you love to do, and that's what we're watching here tonight.
All right, we switch at Spoli's 3, non-Spoli's 4. Again, every 7 points, the girls switch sides.
Okay.
Not so much of an impact now. Oftentimes that sun setting in the west has a significant impact on the play.
Right.
The cloud cover has created a nice barrier. Oops.
Oh, my.
We might need to check.
We should have a replay on that one.
Look at this.
Wow.
I guess I should be looking at the camera. I'm not sure what the camera caught there. But
Yeah, that was
Audrey may need medic.
medic. Yeah, we're going to have to call for the trainer.
But there's still some scramble, some good scramble
Yeah.
in the girls after that.
Some very good play here tonight.
Maddie's kept the home trainer over there.
All right, I'm going to take my chances and just give.
I have 6-3. Yep. Does that sound right? You have 4? 4-6. Pretty sure it's not 4-6. They're leading, right? Okay. 6-4 is the score, Jim. It's been officiated.
Really incapable of keeping track of the score tonight, so apologize for that. But
I'm not sure I'm doing much better.
But I think we got some very high-level play here, and it certainly is fun to watch these players doing what they enjoy.
Yes, it is fun. The compete is there. 3-3 is generally they're running 2-for-2, 2v2.
Right.
But given the number of girls, decision was made to go 3-on-3, and it's created a different game, a lot more competitive.
It is, yes.
The rallies are longer, the net play is stronger. The girls seem fresher.
Right. Oh, that's really good.
Ooh. Back on 1. Sneak attack. Roll shot.
Wow. Good spot there.
Ties the match up at 6-6. This is the final planned set of the evening. Occasionally there's another set that people rally to go do. Sometimes a parent-kid game breaks out. It just kind of depends, Jim.
Yep.
Oh, caught the net, or caught the line.
Yeah, that was
painted
good.
that line.
It was very much so.
Well, Brock, young lad out of Northfield, Minnesota.
Word of the night.
Any coaches listening, watching out there that are interested in a high-level player? I'm sure she'd take the call.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
Oh man, another
Good
powerful swing there.
Good up. I sense some compete.
Yeah,
in this
definitely.
One. Again, interesting. Randomly drawn numbers, but has the last set of the evening with the Spolidoro sisters together. What wasn't random was there's an intention to make sure all girls played with each girl, and all girls played against each girl.
That's good. Yeah, you get a good cross section of competition that way and get a chance to be on everybody's team. So that's a good.
That's right.
Good method.
I solicited.
Oh.
That's a
we're
replay,
doing
Jim.
a
That
redo
we
here.
call that a tip, so we'll
Yep.
replay that point. I solicited the support of my mathematician friend to help me with an algorithm to create the even matchups.
Okay.
So the first few things we ran through had us playing like dozens of sets, and that
Okay.
wasn't going to happen because, you know, it is
Yeah.
getting dark.
Yeah, and the sun is waning away on us here as we move towards fall. But yeah, maybe bringing a little bit of sabermetrics into volleyball here.
I believe that we missed a switch.
Yeah, I think we did.
I think the score. Lord, do you have 8-8? Yeah. 8-8? I think you missed a switch a couple points ago. Don't seem to be bothered by
No.
the missed switch, so we play on. Guess maybe I caused some distraction.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We can have a definite effect from up here. We got a great spot to watch the match and call it for you here. It's just a really, really, really nice setting here in Woodbury, Minnesota, east side of the metro area. If you're not familiar with the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Directly on the east side of the Twin Cities, on the way to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I told her we could probably see
good
Wisconsin.
hustle.
Wow, that's some really good rallies here.
Well placed by the eldest Spolidoro.
Yes.
Stephanie probably doesn't have many kind words for that play, but ties at 10. We're racing to 7, Jim.
Yeah.
It's getting exciting.
Oh, got a comment from Becky down there in Northfield area. Great save. So we got people watching here and enjoying the action tonight here on the Spolidoro Sports Network. Looks like it's time for a switch. No one is looking up here, but
we got a couple additional folks sneaking through the back.
Oh,
I
man,
will
we're-
have to call security to make sure they have the appropriate credentials.
we're picking up all kinds of folks here. That's good.
Maybe that's the new recruits coming in.
How are you doing?
Simba is the greeting committee. But the girls are not distracted. They play
No,
on.
they definitely play on.
Oh,
Oh, good spot
there
there.
was a good spot. Lobbed it over the in-charging Laura. Was expecting the short shot. And we raced to 6.
I think when this set is done, we will give our perpetual candidate a call and see if he's available for a few thoughts on this election day, Minnesota primary.
Good. Poor Laura tangled up in the net there, but she made a heck of a shot regardless. Nothing can hold that girl down.
No.
Steph takes the ball at 12-11.
Wow.
Ooh. And now we're racing to 5.
Yeah. I think you're definitely right about adding the third player, really changing the dynamic of the game here and making for a lot of long rallies and really, really good high-level play here.
We've got both sides of the court covered with fans, Jim.
Wow.
I mean,
We're gonna have-
not the most vocal fans that I've heard, but
No.
studying the game intently.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we had to bring in some temporary seating here to the left of the broadcast position. So, oh, and a running save there.
Looks like the oldest Spolidoro might need a break on that one. She's here we go. It's getting tight, Jim.
Yeah, this is good. Oh, that one's a little long.
Good swing, a little long, and now we're racing to 3. 14-14. If the girls are paying attention, they would switch sides.
Yep.
Hate to make too many comments because they're really focused.
Yeah.
Not appreciative always of what we have to say.
No, we get some steely glances up here when we suggest.
It's almost as if there's a speaker playing out.
I know.
You
You almost think they can hear what we're saying. I don't know if that's the case or not, but it just does feel like that. Oh.
Tough shot down the
Yeah,
line.
it was a line shot. It was tough.
It was.
Oh, in system here. Good setup. No, just short on that save attempt.
All right, we have the first set point here.
Oh wait, no, it's 16-14. 16-14.
Joust at the net. Ends the set. It's been awesome, Jim, to see these girls come together, play together. You know, there's new faces that have entered, and the welcoming arms have come out.
Yeah, it's been really good. I'm glad that we were able to make it up here today, and I think I'm going to try and give the man they call Dieter a quick call and just get a few comments from him. He is one of the lead sponsors, so I hate to leave him out of the action. So we will do that right now and see if we can get some comments from the perpetual candidate.
You're not going to believe what I have to say here, but we'll see if the Dieter picks up.
Yeah. This will be his largest audience ever, I can tell you that for sure.
All 3 of us on?
Yeah. Boy, it's starting to sound like he might be busy.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
We will potentially try him. Oh, Becky has another comment. Did not see his name on the ballot. Well, you know, that is one of the things that is kind of critical to running a campaign. You do have to put your name in and actually commit to running for office. So this could be a little bit of an issue, and perhaps he's trying to do that right now, or he's voting for himself. They talk about voting early and often. I think potentially that's his strategy. If he votes for himself enough times, maybe there will be
self-writing.
So I think that this could be a...
I think we call that an organic campaign.
Yeah, and that definitely, Dieter would be all over that. So, yeah. Well, we're bringing out the bug spray now. We're getting into that point of the night here.
I think I dropped the mic down there. I think I had a
do
bite.
We have somebody online?
Is somebody down there? Yeah. Who do we have?
Audrey.
Hi, Audrey. How was your evening?
Good.
Yeah? You enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it's hot.
Hot.
Sweaty.
I think it's nice out here. We're in the breeze and the cloud cover. I'm not sure.
Why don't you come down and play then?
Oh
boy.
It's getting a little dark.
Not
There's
really,
safety
no.
concerns here.
No, there's not. 2v2. We want me and Laura against Mike and Jim.
No, I think I'm going to stay up here in the broadcast booth. I don't think you want to see what might come out of that. So I'll continue to comment up here, and you can
I think
recruit some others here.
There's probably a Nup, an Eisen, and a Barber. I bet we could get a crew together. But I do see some head shaking in the negative direction down there.
I think people are enjoying their evening, sitting around and taking it all in, and yeah.
Oh yes, now it is time for the obligatory picture. Oh no, Lana was bringing bug spray. Typically, as the girls start to disperse, it's everybody come back together. It's camera time.
Sure, I can certainly understand that. Yeah, what a great evening. I just can't get over it. We hit the weather good. It's perfect.
Audrey, any other comments? Laura, you want to join Audrey?
Laura, you want to join?
Yeah, you should say a few things. You have lots of comments? You have no comments.
No comment, but you're still gonna join anyways.
Yeah, I think you should say a few things here, so. Oh.
Yeah, mine's sweaty.
All right. We're joined now by Laura Welbrock. How is it out there on the court? Some really high-level play, very entertaining to watch, and how have you enjoyed it tonight?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I heard that the idea of the Raider volleyball team plays the Eastridge volleyball team.
Yeah.
I would be up for that.
Yeah.
And I think so would Northfield.
Yeah, I think very much so. I think that's a great idea, and we're going to turn our attention, I think, after this to how we could work that out and what the logistics of it might be and how we could broadcast that event. I think there'd be a lot of demand for it, and definitely want to look into that some more. So, yeah, we'll have to make it happen.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about what you think about this decision to move the season, and what does that mean for spring, and what does it mean for fall, and kind of how is Northfield managing this? I know you had some sand time this morning, and that had to be enjoyable. Tell us a little bit about that and just kind of what the plan is going forward here.
Well, I think the decision to move it to the spring was okay, but I don't really understand why soccer gets to play, because that's literally a contact sport and volleyball isn't, and I know it's outdoors, but I don't think that fact should override that it's definitely a contact sport, because they canceled football. Why not soccer?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we've talked about that a little bit with the high school decision to pick out these two sports specifically, and that's football and volleyball, and move them and leave everything else. So you're talking about boys and girls soccer, girls tennis, cross country. I'm missing a couple in there, but they're all allowed to go on with their seasons, and that is a little bit hard to understand. I think in the case of the Big Ten and some of the other collegiate decisions, it was every sport, and I guess I thought that's how this would go, that football might have been the one that was used to make the decision, but once you did that, you would follow through, and all the sports would do the same thing. Certainly there's going to be some hard feelings about that, given, again, like you mentioned, soccer being a contact sport is similar to football. In fact, you have less protective gear on than you would if you maybe had a helmet and a face shield and some other things. It almost seems like that would be safer in that regard, but that's not what they decided, and we have to pick up the pieces and decide where we're going to go next. So this fall light season, you're excited for that, I guess, and maybe just give us a few comments on that.
I don't know how long it's going to be. I think they had some dates, but I think they were tentative end dates, so that could be really fun to be able to play with other people for a little bit longer and get a little bit better before high school season, if we can have that. The only worry is for high school season if they don't let us play both club and high school, and then also if they do, finding gym time with basketball and sometimes football too. They'll use the gym too.
Yeah, I think that's a couple of the things that haven't been thought through. So this fourth season is March 15th through May 15th, but you're going to want to start a month ahead of time, I'm guessing. Is basketball going to be done with their practice, and how is football going to look in Minnesota in February and March? I don't know. I think you're going to have a lot of demand for the fields that do have turf. More and more of any of the new schools are definitely putting in artificial surface, but there are plenty of grass fields, and Northfield being one of them. I just can't imagine what that's going to look like in March. I don't see that being a tenable situation, but also the practices, the overlaps haven't been thought about at all. So definitely a lot of challenges to come here. I do think that, as we've mentioned kind of throughout the evening here, there are a lot of opportunities for volleyball. They may not all be competitions, but there's opportunities for lessons and scrimmages and practices, and potentially what Lights is doing here. It sounds like there'd be some Sunday competition, so that's something that we're going to have to look at, but definitely there is no lack of opportunities there. So, Audrey, other comments from you?
No, I just got bit by a mosquito in my face.
Yeah, the bugs are definitely coming out. The wind has totally dropped out here. We have no sun, So I think this will potentially become a buggy evening here. But
Yes.
appreciate both of you joining us and your thoughts. And yeah, very enjoyable evening. So you heard there from Laura Welbrock and Audrey Spolidoro their thoughts about everybody's attempts to make this, to make something out of the situation that we're in. And again, I think that's about all that can be said. And a lot of it is just, it's just putting the decision off, I think. And we'll have to kind of see how that develops. I'm going to make one more attempt on the man that they call Dieterfuss, and then we'll let him...
the man who's often on the cutting room floor?
Yeah, oh, he was quite disappointed again with me with our audio difficulties last week. He felt he had a great... oh, no, I'm supposed to tell Laura that she can now go and watch a soccer match because you're going to have the time to do that. Of course, those seasons almost directly overlap. Tuesdays and Thursdays are soccer and volleyball nights, so now at least this year you'll have an opportunity to do some of those things. And we talked about that. We talked about the chance to get out and do some things that you would not be able to do otherwise for different commitments. So one more call here to the man they call Dieter, and we'll see who answers the phone on the other end here. And if we don't hear from him, I feel like he is potentially making his defeat speech. I don't know what I should call it, but of course it's hard to be defeated when you haven't even started. Anyway.
Your call has been forwarded
to an automatic... not having luck with it tonight.
It's possible he's at his campaign rally writing his speech.
Or he took the $10 that was donated. Remember, $1 or $2 is the most that can be donated to the Dieterfuss campaign by any one donor. Potentially, he's at his favorite watering hole conciliatory speech there that got some help from down south there. That's the word I was looking for. And potentially has taken the campaign funds, which this could create a controversy, and he may be at a local establishment in drowning his sorrows.
Campaigning?
Yeah, campaigning, looking for new supporters to get $1 or $2 from. Yeah, that's what it is. I get things mixed up there. But anyway, if you're listening by any chance, Dieterfuss, we'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll have to save... Oh, now we're getting a call. Let's see who this is. Good evening. You're on Spolidoro Sports Network. Who's calling and where are you at?
Hi, second-time caller, Nate Lairs calling in.
Oh, Coach Lairs. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
We're having fun. It's a fantastic evening here. We're in Woodbury again, really enjoying our grass game that's going on here, and just fantastic all the way around. So, yeah, give us your thoughts a little bit about, last week we talked about the decision with the high school league. And I think we'd like to hear a little bit more of your thoughts of what's been announced since and where things are going. Yeah, give us your thoughts.
Sure. Well, it looks like all of the major volleyball clubs in the metro are going to host a high school league, which will involve practicing and competition on Sundays. So it's a little confusing that is allowed, but they couldn't figure out how to do high school matches.
Yeah, Nate, it's interesting. As we talked last week, I think, the question was who has the authority in terms of when you sign up for Northern Lights, you are now allowed to practice or play with your high school and vice versa. And so there's great debate on the east side of the cities anyway. I'm not sure. I assume throughout the Twin Cities, but there was a rush to get signed up for the clubs because they were filling up quickly, and now it sounds like word has come down that high school is trying to establish a fall practice session. Won't be allowed to participate due to the club. So I don't know if you've heard anything along those lines, or if you have a perspective on that.
I haven't heard. So are you saying that
So
I guess what are you saying?
Yeah, so for example, when the decision was made, the clubs all rallied and said, "Hey, we're going to offer our high school season," as you just mentioned. High schools were doing a similar thing to say, "Well, we'll practice a couple days a week, even though we won't have competitions." And it sounds like now, because of that rule that you can't participate in high school and club at the same time, girls are forced to make a choice again.
Oh, to pick one or the other?
Yeah. So, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Now, I'm not the authoritative figure. Please don't take my word on that. But I know that's been a discussion on this side of town, anyway.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. First, there's nothing, and then all of a sudden there's two offers for people, and now what do I choose? And now put people in kind of a bad spot to have to make a call on what they want to participate in. Whereas a couple of weeks ago, you basically said, well, we're probably not going to do anything, and now there are options, and now you're putting players in the position of having to make kind of a tough call on that.
Yeah, and then I wonder. So I think Northern Lights, their high school league, it's not just for girls playing at Northern Lights. I think they'll practice. If you were playing for Northern Lights, you'll practice there. But then on Sundays, I think they would have it open to say, like if East Ridge had a high school team, they could go there and play against other schools, and then the Northern Lights teams. I think that's how it would work. That's how it works with the middle school age kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how they do it.
Yeah, the interesting debate then being that the girls do, in fact, have to make a choice around whether or not they want to play club or high school, right? Because the high school team wouldn't have a team if the girls are playing at the club.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting times for sure. And again, we've reflected on just hoping that the decision to move volleyball was a well thought out decision, and it just, having this confusion around what girls can and can't do is an indicator to me anyway that it was, the scenarios weren't played out.
No, for sure. I think there's a lot of detail that is maybe lost in the overall decision. So we have to decide something. They kind of know where it's going, but what effect does that have? What is the repercussions of that down the line? And I don't know that that's always well thought out. And maybe you just can't. You just have to kind of invent it on the fly. This is certainly unprecedented stuff for anybody that's alive now. That's for sure. So we just kind of have to take it a day at a time, I guess.
Yeah, and I feel like we could discuss a lot right now about what it's going to look like in the spring. And it's going to be a completely different picture anyway.
Right.
So I think we've been doing that, the last 6 months, looking ahead the next 2 months.
Yeah, I think that's, and again, we've had this kind of common theme tonight, is this is all just a wait and see. Let's kind of put that decision off. So if you say, even what the Big Ten did, we're going to suspend our season, the thought there is, hey, they could turn it back on again, if things change. So I don't know if that's the case, but nobody wants to say canceled. They want to say delayed and suspended. So, it's just so many unknowns. Like you say, what are we actually going to find in the spring? What's going to happen with this in the wintertime? And I'm sure you're going to hear this reinvented more than a few times between then and now.
Yep, for sure.
So you're getting out on your bike, doing some riding?
Here and there. I've been playing a little volleyball. I'm currently at the gym right now.
Okay. Wow.
You're working hard, we can tell.
Yeah.
Yep. Not winded at all.
Sounds like my kind of workout.
So we have a sand court that we'd like to have you come and check out when there's time. The next time you're in Northfield, you'll have to go to Carleton College and check out their sand court. Laura would like to know what you would rate it, and so that's an invitation sometime to come back to Northfield and check out some of the sand courts in town, but specifically that one at Carleton.
Well, I do take guest ratings, so if I get a quality photo of the court, I do take guest ratings on the quality of the sand, the nets, how good the nets are, if they are, women tight, men tight, and just the overall atmosphere.
Okay.
So,
well,
That's
We can get on that. I can take the picture. The rest of it, I think you're talking to the wrong guy here, but I think I know somebody who could write up a pretty good review of that. So
that really sounds like true embracement of social distancing and the COVID way of remote learning.
It's a virtual review.
Virtual review.
So that's good.
A little difficult to taste the sand. I know that's a factor in your quality decision, Nate. Is, you know, in the sand sport, you do tend to get sand in the mouth, and so it's important for that to understand the taste of the sand to truly evaluate.
Oh boy, that could be very subjective.
Well, as long as I've been playing, you know, that's a skill you develop, is how to, you know, not swallow the sand when you're diving.
I thought you were playing to 15.
Looks like they're playing higher than 15.
Playing to 15.
Oh, I guess Audrey's on the mic. Audrey, any questions or Nate questions for Audrey?
I thought it wasn't on my mouth. Kind of like on my forehead.
Nate, apparently we have Audrey with us. We just dropped the mic down, and apparently she's joined us. Any comments or questions for Audrey? Nate?
Yeah, how's that setter dump to zone 5 going?
I'm not allowed to do it right now.
You're not allowed to do it?
There's no dumping. I have to be squared to the net, and there's no tipping.
Oh, for the grass?
For right now. I've been working on it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Coach Laura are wondering when we're going to get the invite for the coaches versus players challenge.
Aha.
Oh, well, it sounds like a glove is maybe thrown down on that one.
I didn't know that was a thing, but we'll make it happen.
Oh, it's always a commitment.
Me and Laura versus everybody is always a thing.
Are you done? All right, gotta go. Bye.
All right.
All right, bye.
571-346.
Well, any other thoughts for us, Coach Lairs? Appreciate you calling into
Lindsay.
the program tonight. Oh, we're fishing again for more comments here.
No, when's the live stream gonna be at the Aleworks?
Yeah, that's something we should discuss a little bit too. I think that's still a hopeful plan, and we'll have to see how that all.
Has a lot more of their August and September free.
Yeah, for sure. We keep talking about that too. That hey, you know, normally kind of thing, but we do this here. So, all right, we're joined here by Lindsay Spolidoro and Maddie Knupp, and I think they want to visit with you, and then maybe have a couple of questions.
Hey Nate. Hi Nate.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Oh, so good. So good. It's really good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for what's going on, my life hasn't been as turned upside down as a lot of people. So I kind of feel for you guys with not knowing when you're going to school, what's going on with volleyball. So.
Did you have to work from home at all?
I already have been. I've been doing that for the last 5 years, so that hasn't changed.
Have you gotten a dog yet?
I am not. Yet, although people keep telling me to get one.
Yeah. I think it's a must. Dogs are superior.
Dog would impact the volleyball coaching.
Yeah, it always sounds like a good idea, and then you get one.
And then they're the love of your life. And then you can't handle the responsibility. Is that what you're saying?
Step up the score.
But now you have... What? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a big responsibility.
But now you have more time than ever. It's the perfect time to get a puppy.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It's the devil on the right shoulder. Do it. Go ahead and do it.
I was telling your Audrey when we were gonna do Nate and Laura versus everybody on the court.
Oh yeah, we need to do that sometime soon.
Yeah, Maddie always wanted to get that last year, wasn't it? 6 versus 2.
Oh yeah, because we'd always win. Yeah, I always did try to get that. We're just trying to get together at all with like anyone, like Hannah and Katie and Brenna. Gina and Gina, yeah. We're just, everyone's schedule seems like it should be open, but to get the time to match up, I guess everyone's
working a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. People are working, not just hanging out at home all day, bored.
Yeah, I thought I would really thoroughly enjoy laying in bed watching Netflix all day, but I get really antsy after like one episode of something or like an hour into a movie. It's kind of disappointing, but probably for the better. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I guess we should go play some more. Get ready for our spring season. We have more time to.
Tell Nate that your season moved.
Oh, my dad wants me to tell you that after being the last D3 conference in the nation to have a fall season, it just got postponed to the spring today.
Your Lindsay's?
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the live stream earlier and heard them talking about that. So you guys are the last conference that decided to push it off?
Yeah, we were the last men standing. We were out, right, probably in the middle of the pack. Week. Or maybe smart, I don't know. Wasn't the WIAC like the first one to be like, we're out, yeah? Is that Wisconsin? Yeah, I think that's what Brenna said. Brenna said they canceled theirs a long time ago. And they're just completely done, right? They don't even have a spring season? I don't know either. I might have just made that up. Okay, I have a question for everyone. So, you know how, like, NCAA said fall championships are canceled? That means, like, not even in the spring, too, right? I think so. So,
yeah.
We could have a spring season, but it would just be, like, conference, right? Maybe non-conference, but no tournament. That's the possibility, yeah.
I think that's how they're going to make this high school season work. Because if you would have a post-season tournament, so basketball, for instance, if they're allowed to play, and they're supposed to finish up on March 15th, you'd have to be done earlier than that, so that volleyball could take over the gyms for practice. So I'm thinking they would just end their season after a relatively small number of matches or games in their case, and not have any kind of postseason. So I think you're probably right there. And that's something that hasn't been talked about a lot either. Teams play for improving during the year and then going on and getting ready for the playoffs. And we aren't going to have that, I don't think, in any regard this year. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'll definitely be interested to see how people stay motivated with no big shiny trophy at the end of it. I guess there's a shiny trophy for conference, but a little bit different from NCAA.
For the love of the game, that's why.
Of course, for the love of you do it because you love it. Your passion motivates you. That's why I play. Oh yeah, for sure. That's all D3. Yeah, literally. Money. If you're playing and you don't like the sport, why are you playing D3? Exactly.